Hello. Today I'm just doing a little bit on the 240 myself. Not a lot is going to be done, but I figured I'd document just a little bit of it. So far I've begun to drill out some ricer holes here. The weight difference will likely be a gram or so it will make absolutely no difference whatsoever, but it does look pretty cool. All the pilot holes are there. I was using this smooth design here for this. They're typically, well, they're step-up drill bits, but this one doesn't have the step-ups, obviously. And it doesn't do a very good job drilling all the way through. It just kind of pushes the metal. That's not actually that thick. That's just, I don't know the word for it, but the file will take off all that. Either way, I switch over to that to fill out the bigger parts of the holes, and I do like the way that looks. I didn't exactly measure perfectly down here, and this one's not centered perfectly, but what can you expect from me? I was considering cutting out some of the top of this and stuff too. I'm not sure. I might leave it. Might be an impulse decision of mine, but I also have to break out this ice cream sandwich stuff here and try to get behind that, and I want to seam weld all this stuff maybe today. I only have flux core on me right now, so I'm not sure if I want to do that or if I want to wait until I can take it over to the shop and use the MIG. I should probably wait to use the MIG, so we'll see how that goes, but probably just for today, gonna drill these holes out, maybe cut some stuff out there. Might do a little bit of planning for the hydraulic e-brake I'm gonna do, but primarily I'm just going to look for a spot for it up there, remove one of those rear hoses for the heat that comes back here, and I don't know, I might do a little bit more. I might do some sanding on the external part, or even internally too, because I'm going to paint all that black soon once I can get the sound deadening out, but yeah, I'm not really looking forward to this because of the body lines. This is going to be kind of a pain to power sand over, but I'm just going to try to use my blocks, my a round sanding block, to get around this area the best I can. I don't really care that much. Too. Got my Sparco wheel in, the little hub on here, cheap quick release. But I didn't get the right hub, or I tried to use one off an S13, and it doesn't fit the splines on that, so I ordered another hub and I had to wait on that. And I also got that really cheap eBay tachometer in there, if you can even see it through the reflection. But it also doesn't work. I've tried wiring it directly to the ignition coil, to the OEM tack wire that I don't have a tack in there. So, I mean, that's obviously why I bought it. There are OEM tacks for the car, but I couldn't find one for under $100. So I'm probably going to have to get one anyway, but I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do. I messaged the guy that sold me it, and he said that they test it before they ship it out, but I bought it for like 15 bucks. I don't really trust that, and I took it apart. None of the soldering points were broken or anything like that, but I've wired a few of these before. I spent like 2 or 3 hours fucking around with it. Oops. And you know, trying different grounding points, connecting the hot wire to different battery points directly to the battery. I've tried everything. So after what seemed like forever, I managed to eat some of that ice cream sandwich chocolate there and grind off around the seam there. So that will be ready for welds later. I did decide that I think I'm going to wait until I can do it with the MIG. I finished drilling out all these holes, but I do need to deburr them. I did end up remembering what that's called. I also did a little bit of wire wheeling up near the roof where I thought the seams looked a little bit weak. I couldn't get behind there. That actually kind of helps this seal. It's not like super important, but if it weren't for this little piece of plastic here, this wouldn't seal very well. So it's not really going to stay on that side, but you can see under here there's kind of like a dead plate. It doesn't really have much of any support, so that's kind of annoying to me. I don't know how much of a difference that'd really make, but like in the case of a rollover or something, or just for general structural rigidity, I feel like it would be good to weld there. So I prepped up most of that. I'm not sure still if I'm going to cut that or not. That's something that definitely is probably going to take me a while to decide. I'm just concerned it's going to look terrible. And I don't know where exactly I was going to cut out what I'm going to leave, because obviously some of this is structural. I didn't know if I was just going to cut out like some of these boxes and stuff. But I definitely didn't really want these here. The only purpose these have is pretty much the seat brackets, which likely the seats will not ever go back in here after the amount of damage that will be done in the rear when I'm done with all this. So you can see there's quite a bit of metal shavings, and my lucky penny can't get that thing up with a chisel. There's another one here actually somewhere. Aha! Yeah, those are both pretty much stuck in that tar as good as they could get. So that will have to come up later. I'm gonna get some either freeze spray, which is really expensive. There's a brand in Europe, Motip brand, and unfortunately you can't get that in the US. But I was thinking about maybe getting like a compressed air can or something and flipping it upside down. That will work as well. I'm not sure if it will work quite as well, or if it will have the same capacity as, say, a can that was designed for that purpose, but I gotta do what I gotta do. I don't want to buy dry ice. I'm not sure where I could get it, and I don't think it's really something that's worth the money when I could just spend, you know, a fifth of that, if that, to do it that way. But gonna weld up that hole that the previous owner left. I'm not sure how that happened. And I did some silicone sealing of some holes back there and stuff, trying to get rid of some gas smells. I don't know if I've got some damage on my gas tank. The bottom looks like perfect, but I'll have to pull the tank and look at the top just to be sure. This is the last leak I've got too. I think there's probably a rot hole underneath this tar, and I'm assuming that the water's leaking out from under here, because I've looked all around all these edges and I can't find a hole, and water keeps getting into this little puddle here. So that's the only conclusion I can come up with. But as for that, I think that's the majority of my plan for today. The last thing that I want to do, if I don't come back out in a little bit, is I want to take some rust inhibitor, rust mort, phosphoric acid. You can get a couple different brands, but I want to get in all these creases. There's not really too much. It's mostly the floors, but I want to treat this stuff and make sure that it doesn't really spread as bad, and do what I can to limit it now rather than wait. That's gonna get pretty crusty and bad soon. I bet I could probably knock a hole right through this. There's a little bit back there too. So yeah, I'm just gonna paint that on. It's a pretty simple process if you've never seen it done before. It's just pretty much a bottle of acid, and you're gonna want to use a disposable paintbrush. You're probably only gonna be able to use that once, and basically you just paint it on and let it sit for a while. Supposedly it prepares it for body filler and paint and all that, but I'd probably grind it down anyway. But it will turn that rust black after a while. If you look really closely, you can see that it kind of like bubbles. Pretty interesting, honestly. But regardless, I'm gonna apply that inside the car, maybe a little bit down here and stuff. I'm not too worried about this because I'm just gonna have to cut that out and replace it anyway, so I'm not like really trying to save everything, just the stuff that is pretty important. I mean, it would look better having black rust rather than brown rust, but I'm not that picky. So either way, I'll get to that and I'll keep you updated. We've got our man Brody here.
What's up?
We haven't seen him in a long while.
No, it's been a minute. It's been a minute.
His new project car.
No, it's
He's
not a
putting
project.
Swapping it.
No, I'm not. It's my daily driver. It's a piece of crap. I hate it
Why do you hate it, Brody?
because it's boring. It's got low miles though, so if you're in like the New Hampshire area and want an E46, 5-speed and open diff, let me know. $1,500.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not a bad car, but this thing's way nicer. We need one of these.
Yeah, way nicer. A little bit more progress in the last few hours. I'm just about to finish cutting out this last little panel. It's gonna look a lot better than that side.
Yeah. It's about there.
Huh?
Just about there.
There's a little bit left here, and then I have to get around this corner. I don't know if I'm just gonna slice straight through. I might just slice straight through. I don't see any reason why
You
not.
should. Didn't you on the other one?
I tried to avoid it a little bit. That's probably why it was that wavy. I'm probably just gonna
In that corner?
Huh?
In that corner you cut like right down?
I didn't finish cutting here either. I'm gonna have to like fill this out with the die grinder. I plan to hit this anyways later. I just don't want to do it today, really.
Yeah. I see it.
Clean. Clean.
Oh, yeah. That's what you want right there. Look at that. Look at that. Nice clean cuts. It's gonna be a little bit shaky cam. Mid record, found a tick on my arm, so had to get that off while I was recording.
What'd you do with it?
It's on the ground, I gotta burn it.
Okay, because I thought I felt something on my neck.